contactless card fraud, meaning criminals can get your card details without even touching your wallet.
Yeah, you might have seen this video doing the rounds a couple of weeks ago, but to tell us more, eNCA's Jason Adriaan is here, our tech fundi, to tell us how it's all happening. Jason, good morning.
Good morning.
So what are people doing? What is this contactless card skimming? What's happening?
So a lot of the banks are issuing these cards with RFID chips built into them.
It looks like a Wi-Fi sign.
Yeah, it looks like a little
right.
Wi-Fi logo on your card. And almost every card has it these days. And it makes it really convenient to do payments for small items in the store. But that convenience comes at a compromise, and that is that it also makes it a little bit easier for fraudsters to grab your credit card details or even take money off your account without you even noticing it, right? So, for example, in this video that's currently on screen, what happens is if you had one of these PayPoint machines that you bought online somewhere on the dark internet, you could just run up to someone, tap their wallet, and you can make a transaction. And because you don't get an SMS on an amount that's less than about a couple of $100, you wouldn't even know that that transaction had come off your card until you see it on your statement.
A couple of $100 over time is a lot of money.
Exactly.
You know, who's at risk here?
Everyone's at risk, right? Anyone that has this card with that little Wi-Fi logo on it is technically at risk. But there are ways of mitigating against the risk of this sort of fraud happening to you.
So how do I protect myself? What do I do?
So basically, a lot of wallet manufacturers have started introducing sleeves in the wallets that protect the card from the contactless fraud. Essentially, it's like a Faraday cage. Basically, it's a fancy word for this foil in the wallet, and it prevents the sort of...
There we can see them. Yeah.
Exactly. It prevents fraudsters from just tapping your wallet and grabbing your information. And the thing is, you could even grab this information using a smartphone app. So if someone had a smartphone app on their Android device, they tapped your wallet, they'd have your credit card details.
So I'm just wondering, sorry, I need to say this. In the world of technology, we're going back to foil and stuff like that. I mean, this thing was introduced to cards to facilitate point of sale, point of sale purchases.
100%, yeah.
And now the criminals have managed to just get a way around it.
Yeah.
Just wonder how really can we manage? I mean, we have technological advances, but the basics also are important.
Yeah, listen, the more we make things more convenient, the more risk we introduce into our lives.
They always find a way to beat that system. Now, do you have a choice? I'm not sure how familiar you are with what's happening in the banks, but do we have a choice to take that type of card or not?
So so banks, I mean, they don't prefer not to give you a different type of card. That's the default card that they issue, and according to the banks, there are no massive fraud issues on these cards because there's not enough data to back that up, right? But what you can do is you can ask them to put a pin on the functionality to at least safeguard you against big transactions going off your card.
Okay, well, I suppose, speaking of those wallets and those who, I mean, are they freely available here? The ones that you spoke about with the protective foil? Or can you even make it at home?
Yeah, you could use just normal foil. And here's another trick, right? If you have a number of cards, you stack them on top of one another in your wallet, and it confuses the machine. It doesn't know which card to pick. And
I hope my husband is watching, because he says to me, my wallet is a mess. He says, if anybody mugs me, they're going to throw it right back at me. Clean out your purse, he says. Now you see there's a reason, and it's going to protect me.
Absolutely.
All those cards and all those slips.
Yeah, so don't put your one card in your pocket. That's actually kind of risky.
Yeah, but I guess also just, as I said, common sense, basics 101, just be aware who's around you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't, that video that we've seen, the gentleman in the depicted, I don't know if that it was a setup just to show us, to demonstrate what can be done by that machine.
Yes.
He's completely unaware who's behind it, he's looking somewhere.
Yeah.
One of the things I've learned over the years that vigilance can also help you.
Absolutely. Be careful of public transport, places where that's really crowded, because that's hot spots for this.
Does it make a noise when it does that? Do you hear anything?
Well, they can obviously just turn off the noise on the machine, right? So there are ways for them to just work around anything that might.
And remember, they're withdrawing a few hundred, so you don't even get an SMS. You don't even know that you've been scammed or been defrauded, rather. Thank you very much, Jason.
Okay, and I don't have to go out and clean out my purse now. I'm so happy. That's the other thing.
I'm sure Sean knows that now. Thank you very much, Jason. We'll be with you again next week for our Tech Talk. Now,